Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Taking a quick look here at SUI this weekend, just kind of seeing what's going on. The overall sentiment is that we have a nice little support level here, just to quickly give you perspective at 410, and then of course, obviously the resistance at roughly 450 there, 449 with the most recent and all-time high. What I want to try and talk about here today, of course, is this potential for Elliot wave and just kind of what that means. I don't think we should put too much weight into it, but it just kind of gives us understanding of where the price could pull back to if it does, and it's important to know that because a lot of folks like to dollar cost average, or perhaps you're in a leverage type of position, which most people are, and you want to know where to either add to your margin or just basically get in or out. This should help us understand what that looks like. So to quickly give perspective, 450 to 460 is a very heavy concentration of liquidation. A lot of folks are shorting this level pretty both low leverage and medium and high leverage. So again, a lot of folks are heavy on the short there, which makes sense. Of course, anytime a price action gets overextended, or maybe we have, just say, for example, we just hit a double top here potentially, that's a common area for people to want to short. Okay, it's just normal. So nothing crazy out of the ordinary here. That's kind of standard SUI stuff there. When we look at the liquidation delta, even though there's a lot of liquidation to the upside, we have more people taking longs as well. So this generally is favorable for people wanting to consider a position to the upside versus the downside. I never recommend shorting SUI, but I can tell you at this point, with liquidation delta being higher and more liquidation to the upside closer to the price action, it would make sense for the price to sweep that level at the very least. Okay. Now again, open interest is going to help us understand kind of support ranges here. If we take a look, we can see 421. So we're coming up into about a support level 421, 422. And of course, we can kind of see that 410 is that secondary support. So we got some support in this little range here between 410 and 420 as an easy rough estimate for you. Take a look here at the daily though. Let's quickly note here, first of all, when it comes to bigger picture, we can see that the R size, everything's pretty much in good shape. Okay, so the daily time frame is not going to give us any indication we're going to be reversing price action. However, we can see with two candles here forming, depending on obviously where we close today, we're getting almost a potential double doji candle. Oftentimes when you have double dojis at the top or bottom of a run, you will see the price action reverse itself, at least temporarily. So it would seem sensible to presume that the price could pull back first before it legs up again. But again, it really just depends on the smaller time frame. So let's look at the 4 hour and kind of clarify this here. We're above all moving averages, still very bullish, nothing you want to short into. When we look at the RSIs, money flow index, everything's perfect here in this range. We're above 50, below 70. While things are tapering off and pulling back, that's very normal and consistent with the price action. It's nothing super concerning. However, we do have a MACD divergence officially here. We got a second stochastic swing to the downside there that's a first stochastic swing down. So a lot of reasons why we should anticipate the price pulling back a bit further. At the very least, maybe to retest this 410 mark and then potentially pivot from there. Again, general consensus is that you want to wait for support levels to be tested and hold before you consider taking a position. Because right now you'd be just kind of trying to catch a falling knife, as they say, with the price pulling back. You got to keep in mind too, Bitcoin is retracing a tiny bit right now from 100,000 to 99.5, and it looks like SUI is responding a little bit more aggressively to that. So we could see, a couple patterns forming, when the price action works itself into a descending type of trend, establishes lower highs and lower lows and breaks down. That's a common theme or pattern play out. Or the price action pivots here. Let's talk quickly about this Elliott wave so you understand what that means. Quick little rule of thumb, your fourth wave can never be lower than your first. So just in case you're unfamiliar with that, the price does end up pulling back. We have a lot of range of pullback here. But what this does is this reinforces that support at 368 because that was the previous high, and we have a lot of support in that lower range there. So heaven forbid we come into the low to mid 360, 370 range. There's a solid amount of support there and a decent chance we pivot. But between now and then, 0.236, 0.382, 0.5, and 0.236, these three areas here, these are common retracement levels for Elliott wave and just in general. Okay, so hypothetically, we lose this level here at 410, we could see $4 even and or 383. Okay, so those are just kind of some rough estimates there. In a perfect world, the price just keeps going up, but we live in an imperfect world, especially with crypto. It's just nonsense and tomfoolery all the time. So take a look here at the Ichimoku cloud. Last but not least here, we're above the clouds. Still, again, a good support. Until we break below that, I wouldn't be super concerned. We're going to be going much lower. We can also recognize conversion lines above the baseline. That's positive. lag and span's free and clear, at least for the next hour or two. So we have generally favorable signs here that a long position makes more sense than a short. Do you take a long at this exact moment? Not necessarily. I wouldn't personally, but that's just me. If the price comes down to this low 410 mark, that may be a good consideration for a long. But once again, we get close to that level, we're retesting a local support, and we could potentially break lower too. So there's a lot of little things you can kind of think of. But suffice to say, at this point, the overall trends, the overall macro for SUI is still very positive, and I think it's just generally a very good situation overall. But it's best to expect the price to pull back a bit further too, just so we know kind of where we're at. So again, just to reinforce those levels of support, we have open interest at 420, local support at 410, fib support at $4, and 384. As those are the close approximates for those three, actually 4 areas of consideration. So those are your targets, my friends. I hope that makes sense. I described that correctly. Comment below if you get a chance. Love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit the like button, obviously, and I'll post an updated playout chart here shortly on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Last but not least, of course, folks, as per usual, Bitunix, excellent exchange. No KYC or VPN. If you're new to the channel, check them out. $12,000 deposit bonus this month. Really cool stuff. Thanks again, folks. Have yourself a great rest of the day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.